Hello, my name is Jonathan Hedrick, and I chose Chapter 5, Social Reform in the Progressive Era. Another book defines the Progressive Era as from the late 1800s to about the 1930s, right when the Great Depression started. And this was marked by large amounts of people moving to cities to get new jobs because factories were popping up in cities, and it gave great opportunities to make more money. It's marked by large immigration to America from Europe. In the beginning, it was mostly Northern and Western Europe, and then towards the end of this era, it was mainly Southern and Eastern Europe. So Italy and Russia were the big players at the end. And a lot of times when they moved to America, they lived with others who came from the same areas, and those communities can still be seen today. And at that time, the living conditions were not very well maintained. There were no codes or fire escapes or standards for building. So a lot of the times you'd have housing that just fell apart, caught fire, just caused a whole mess of problems. Sanitation was also bad. There was rampant food poisoning, epidemics of cholera, typhoid fever, and many other diseases. And then there were people who tried to sell cures to these diseases, and there was no oversight there. So a lot of times they were met with toxic chemicals. And how did that get solved? Well, that's in the next slide, because there's also problems with labor. Workers a lot of times had to spend 12-hour days, 6 days a week, and they weren't even paid enough to take care of their family. I saw statistics that said that you could live off of about $15, the family could, for a week, and they were only paid about $12.50 or less. There's also dangerous working conditions and child labor. And the progressives came along, and they sought to reform labor, health, living conditions, suffrage, and many more. And it wasn't partisan. There were progressives on the Democratic side and progressives on the Republican side. And who were they up against? Large political machines that would hire their own family and friends to run things. They accepted bribes. They made up laws that only benefited themselves. So they had a lot to work against. And the policies that they implemented helped get rid of child labor, workmen's compensation, housing codes, health codes, a lot of oversight into things. So there'd be checks and balances so that everyone was safe. Healthcare. What they do for healthcare, they implemented a lot of oversight so that government positions would make laws and check out what was being made in these factories, what was being made in medicine shops, and just overall make healthcare a little more affordable for the working class. Essentially, the working class is who they fought for. A lot of the labor reform, labor laws that we don't even think about today are due to the progressives and the work that they put in at the beginning of the 20th century. And essentially, they helped improve the quality of life for everyone. And so, yeah, that was the progressive era. Thank you.